Sinn Féin mentioned earlier, Ceann Comhairle, about the Sinn Féin way. Well, let me be very honest and reflect about the Sinn Féin way, because anybody who wants to know about the Sinn Féin way of how they treat child abuse victims only need ask my very good friend Maria Cahill, how she has been vilified, been put through kangaroo courts, which is their sense of justice, and the persistent online harassment that she has gone through for the last number of years is a shame on you. Anyone who wants to know about the Sinn Féin way regarding our An Garda Síochána or our defence forces, or indeed our prison officer forces, need only ask the widows of Garda Jerry McCabe or prison officer Brian Stack, or indeed the widow of Private Patrick Kelly. Sinn Féin don't do truth or integrity or sincerity. You're full of spin, rubbish and pure political games, because that's all that's going on here today. We're about, and actually, you know, just throw in the alternative facts every now and again that just suits your purpose. We're about finding truth and justice, and that's what this government is going to continue to do.
The irony is not lost on anyone, though, that we're here tonight discussing a motion at the behest of Sinn Féin. Your crocodile tears for An Garda Síochána, your crocodile tears for due process, your crocodile tears for whistleblowers falls hollow on me, and I suspect on most of the right-minded thinking Irish people. I'm not going to go through the gory details, but lads and ladies, you know how you dealt with whistleblowers. You know how you dealt with guards in the past, and I'm glad that you have seen the light and that you're moving away from that. But I think it is somewhat ironic that you would seek to lecture us, those of us that have been around elected democratic politics for quite some time. I welcome, Deputy Doherty, that you're coming to a democratic electoral process, and I welcome the fact that you're prepared to turn your back on the kind of behaviour that your colleagues were involved in the past, and the way you treated Gardaí and whistleblowers. Whistleblowers did not get an opportunity to have an investigation appropriately heard in Sinn Féin. They usually ended up on a lonely road with their hands tied behind their back and a bullet through their head, and you well know that. So,
one in relation to Gardaí themselves and the other in relation to whistleblowers. And in his opening remarks, Deputy Adams said, you know, an anecdote, give me another pint or go to Achill Island. The lucky guards, Deputy Adams, as you know, might have made it to Achill Island, but 6 of them, thanks to an organisation, your sister organisation, were put into early graves. One of them, my own constituent, Seamus Quaid, murdered by the IRA in Wexford, left widowed with a young family to be brought up in County Wexford. In my own constituency, Detective Garda Jerry McCabe, murdered by the IRA for doing what? Escorting social welfare payments to a post office in my constituency. Now, when you're on your high moral ground tonight, and I know your younger members are shifting in their seats when they think of what you've led them to, when you get back on your high moral ground tonight, Deputy Adams, and there are some of your commandants still knocking around as well, you might take the opportunity in the stillness of the night, when the light goes off, to remember the faces of those dead guards whose graves you put them in with your organisation earlier than their time. Your organisation has, but I want to continue. The organisation that Deputy Adams said he never was a member of is responsible for 6 guards in this state being put in early graves. And when ye are on your high moral ground tonight, especially the younger deputies of Sinn Féin, ask yourselves about kangaroo courts, about darkened vans on the border where people are brought before the so-called kangaroo court. Ask yourselves about the whistleblower that was Maria Cahill, a brave woman who was put into the Shannon by the Labour Party, who ye vilified. Ask yourselves about Paddy McGahan, and we know what was done to him. And ask yourselves about the memory of the late Brian Stack, whose family have begged ye for answers as to what happened to their father. and ye won't come forward with what ye know, because ye say there is a journey to truth and reconciliation. And you're right. Let the journey begin here tonight. And when this country goes through what is undoubtedly going to be a difficult period with the tribunal, which is now has to be set up, and it is right that it has to be set up, ye need to play your part once and for all and come clean for the 6 dead members of An Garda Síochána, for the dead members of the Irish Defence Forces, and for the dead members of the Irish Prison Service, who were put into early graves by an organisation whose sole motive was to subvert this state and who never recognised the legitimacy of this Dáil or this state. So when you are going to cast your votes tonight, especially the younger members of Sinn Féin, ask yourselves who has led you to this, and have you confidence in him and his equals to lead you even further? Because he has questions to answer, along with that generation of leaders of so-called republicanism. The true Republicans in this House are the people who stand by the Constitution, are the people who stand by the Defence Forces, the Gardaí, and you may well laugh, Deputy, at the dead memory of 6 guards, of prison officers and of members of the Defence Forces. But your hypocrisy does not wash with the people of Ireland. Your belated interest and your newfound interest in the Gardaí. But then again, ye always had an interest in the Gardaí. Some of your people wanted to know where they lived, where they worked, and their movements. And we know that, the people out there know that, and they're not going to wash, they're not going to wear your newfound interest in the Gardaí. And Deputy Ellis, you may very well roar and shout at me. But the people in this House and the people outside this House are entitled to answers. Maurice McCabe is entitled to answers. Jerry McCabe's widow is entitled to answers. Seamus Quaid's widow is entitled to answers. And when those answers have been given, let everybody get their answers.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Michael Fitzmaurice, please. Deputy Michael Fitzmaurice. Deputy Michael Fitzmaurice.